So Candace Owens is back at it again. At this point, I really don't get this chick, but I'm trying to, but I just can't. So anyway, as you know, she made the recent video about George Floyd and how she basically took the time to tear this man down just to prove that he was a bad guy and basically that he deserved what he got. That's what it almost came off as to me. So now she's back at it and she's talking about Rayshard Brooks. So she took the time on her little weak ass online talk show with, you know, all her little Republican friends to talk about how basically this was justified just as well. Matter of fact, I'm not going to do too much talking. We're going to break it down segment by segment because she said quite a few things that I just can't wrap my head around. So let's take a look at what she said about how things went down.
Seeing a new story come to light. This is the killing of Rayshard Brooks, and I want to pause and talk about that particular case. First and foremost, when I first heard about it, it was on the internet, it was on Twitter, and people were outraged. I saw videos of Atlanta, where the shooting took place, on fire. I saw videos of people protesting and demanding justice. They burned down a Wendy's restaurant. And what I was hearing was that a black man who was running away from police was shot in the back 3 times. I was expecting to see a horrific video. I was expecting to see a video in which I would roundly condemn police officers. But that is not what I saw. In fact, what I saw was a justified shooting of a violent criminal.
So, as you can see, she says that the killing of Rayshard Brooks was a justified shooting. That it was justified because he's a violent criminal. Now, you know, this is the thing. Nobody's denying that this man did something wrong as far as public intoxication and the fact that he did eventually resist arrest. But she doesn't seem to understand that. So, and then she, you know, goes on even further, you know, about how he was, how it went down. Let's take a look.
When the police officers arrived, they had difficulty waking Rayshard Brooks up. And when he finally came to, they asked him if he needed medical assistance. At that point, Rayshard came out of the car and they began to execute their arrest. He immediately began fighting the 2 officers.
So now you got the nerve to say this man immediately began fighting these officers as soon as he got out of his car. Where? The video clearly shows everything that happened. This man had like a 20-some-odd minute conversation with these officers, probably longer than that, where everything was civil. He did not immediately begin fighting these officers. I don't get where she gets her facts from, because she says stuff like, you can look at the video and see it. Yeah, bitch, we can. And we can see that you're the blind one. The man got out of the car and had a conversation with them for a long time. She says, oh, he began immediately fighting the officers as soon as he got out the car. Man, I can't with this lady, man. I can't. So anyway, let's go to the next one. Let's see what she had to say next.
The response that I am seeing online is that despite the fact that a violent criminal had grabbed a weapon from a police officer and fired that weapon at a police officer, this killing was still not justified. I can't wrap my head around that.
So, what can't you wrap your head around? What can't you wrap your head around? This killing was not justified. I don't care who you are. No. Let's make something straight here. Nobody cares about what you say, but let's get something straight here. The man, yes, we're fully in admittance that this man grabbed the cop's taser and that he waved it at him. But what we're saying is he didn't have to die for that. You could have tased this man. You had 2 cops there. You could have tased this man. Tased him. You know what I mean? Even, whatever you had to do, but you did not have to kill him. That is the argument that Candy doesn't seem to recognize. That is the argument that she can't wrap her head around. Because in her mind, no matter what you do wrong, you so much as jaywalk or scream at somebody, if the officer got to shoot you and kill you, you were a violent criminal. And I'm sorry, it had to be done. What the fuck ever, man. I can't with this lady, man. Let's take a look at one last thing that she said that really got me a little razzled.
There really is no dispute. The debate now that is being had, the debate that I am hearing that is being had, is why didn't the police officer just let him go?
So who do you think in this world is basically saying, let this man go so he can get away with it? Nobody is saying that. Nobody. What people were saying was they could have let him walk home without his car and stuff like that. Not that he necessarily needed to get away with it. The hell, they could have gave him a fine if they wanted to. But he didn't have to be arrested because he wasn't on the road driving, causing, danger or, harm to anyone else. So they're saying he even offered himself in the civil conversation that he had to say, hey, I'll leave my car here. Hey, I'll leave my keys with you guys. I know I screwed up. Let me just at least walk home and, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to do the right thing. Let me just walk home and all can be, you know what I mean? I can rest it off, whatever. Even if they would have given him a ticket or something, it wouldn't have been that bad. You know what I mean? They could have said, all right, we're going to write you a little fine, but you're not leaving with this car. You know what I mean? We're holding your keys. Come down to the station and pick them up tomorrow or something. And that could have been the end of it. He would have got a fine. He would have walked home without harming anyone. And y'all would have had his keys, so he couldn't come back for the car. What don't you understand? This is the thing I don't understand about people like Candace Owens. It's like, why do you feel like you have to take so much time to vilify people? Because basically she's one of those people, she'll say a couple of the right words. Oh yeah, well, George Floyd's death was definitely not justified. But let me tell you how bad George Floyd was. He was a criminal. He went to jail. He had a fine. This one time in 6th grade, he pushed this girl, and he's just an overall bad guy. No, he shouldn't have gotten killed. But you need to know that he did drugs, and he was a bad guy, and this one time in the 11th grade, he slapped a guy. Can you believe it? He slapped a guy. That's what you sound like, Candy. I mean, I don't understand you. I can't. And it really just bugs me out, man. Please tell me what y'all think about this in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Help me understand why she doesn't understand that somebody doesn't need to die just because they did something wrong. Nobody is denying that this man did something wrong. No, he should not have resisted arrest. No, he should not have grabbed a taser. And no, he should not have died. Plain and fucking simple. I'm out.